What's going on, everybody? Gotta fix that. Welcome in to the Venator Trading 10K to $2 million funding challenge. Hope y'all had a great weekend. I have been recovering from whatever virus got a hold of my body last week. Man, that was miserable. But I'm feeling physically a lot better. I don't think I sound much better, but I am feeling a lot better. Feel rested, feel ready to go. And we're back in the saddle, man. We're back at it. We actually have a pound Aussie trade set up here live. I just put this in the Discord. This is the sell that I'm looking for here off of this breaker, and fair value gap entry is a beautiful breaker setup actually that you could have been in from the top here. You could have gotten it gave you two different entries off of this breaker and this fair value gap right here. The last down close candle, we cleared out buy side liquidity and then we displaced lower. It came back up here. It displaced through London. And then if you were watching that, you could have identified that breaker, got an entry about an hour and a half ago or so. But there's another one here. We've run buy side liquidity again. We've displaced through another breaker set up here on pound Aussie. I'm still expecting pound Aussie to come down pretty far. I think these relative equal lows down here is the ultimate draw on liquidity for pound Aussie. We've gapped lower. We've just been a lot of weakness here. Aussie's been super strong, and we're just going to ride the trend. We're just going to ride this trend down. We're definitely thinking it's going to take out last week's lows. Hopefully we can get triggered in and then at least move down into here to get to break even. So that's kind of that's the play we're looking for here right off the bat on Monday morning. Take down this buck sticking his head out, looking around at us. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome back into the stream. Corey, Cisco, Adrian, Muhammad, Lagos, Cisco, all you guys in here, man. Euro Aussie. So Euro Aussie I was actually looking at, but this trade here also a good trade. I almost set this up, but we have the euro. The inflation rate is coming out on euro at 9 o'clock this morning. So I'm just staying away from the red folder news. I think this might be a good setup on Euro Aussie as well. I haven't marked out, but because of the red folder news in just about 2 hours, I'm going to not take this trade on Euro Aussie. I had it set and then I remembered, oh wait, there's news, and so I took it off. So the only orders I have right now are pound Aussie. So I think both are good setups, but pound Aussie is the one I'm probably going to be looking for. There is a lot of news this week. We have October's closing out tomorrow. The month of October is closing out tomorrow. And then we have a lot of economic news coming out. It's the first week of the month. It always is like this. You've got non-farm, you've got employment. There's just across the board. The first week of the month is just littered with red folder major news events that will shift the market. So Monday and Tuesday are actually pretty light. If I was looking at the Forex Factory calendar, I'll pull this up here so you guys can see. Today we do, it's not listed on here, the euro, that inflation, but it is here. It's coming out at 9 o'clock. Monday, though, is fairly light. Besides that, Tuesday, the yen has a Bank of Japan press conference. CAD has GDP. Dollar has the employment cost index, which it's not one that I would necessarily avoid trading. It's not necessarily a big mover. Consumer confidence reports, But then Wednesday, you've got the ADP non-farm employment change. You've got ISM manufacturing. You have JOLTS job openings, the federal funds rate, and the FOMC statement at 2 o'clock. That's all Wednesday. Thursday, you've got pound. You've got unemployment claims again. And then Friday, of course, you've got the employment change, the unemployment rate, the non-farm payroll. Average hourly warning. It's just a big news week from an economic calendar standpoint. And so, we're hopefully going to be able to find the setup here today or tomorrow, because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, probably not going to be trading, quite honestly. Just at least not dollar correlated pairs. We just need to see how this is all going to pan out before we just jump right in into something else. So dollar, we grabbed some highs, took out some lows. You do have a little breaker. If the dollar wants to head lower this week, I would be interested to see, does it want to respect this breaker right here into this fair value gap, rebalance this. It's reclaimed these fair value gaps here. It's disrespected them. It shot up impulsively, cleared out the liquidity, rebalanced these fair value gaps over here, and then has displaced lower right after touching off that liquidity. So if it wants to drop lower, this is probably where it's going to want to do so, is somewhere inside of this fair value gap with this breaker. It doesn't have to get deep in here. It just really needs to come up and touch this breaker. These last down close candles are the down move that initiated the run on liquidity. All right, so we see a down move, we see a run of liquidity. Once we see this aggressive run of liquidity, we see immediate displacement. So this is your sign, hey, stop run. This was a stop run. Once you see liquidity get tapped and then you see immediate aggressive displacement, stop run. So then you look back and you go, where did that stop run initiate? It initiated down here on these last down close candles. There's a beautiful fair value gap sitting right inside. This is a 30-minute time frame, by the way. You can see it on the 15-minute as well. You could come down all the way to here for this breaker. I like the 30-minute, just looks cleaner to me. I would just use this whole section here as a breaker. And then you're going to wait for price to rebalance some of this aggressive move after the stop hunt and then continue on in the direction it was intending to go. So it will be interesting to see how the dollar responds inside and around this fair value gap right there. And in line with that, I'm still bullish dollar. Don't hear me say that I'm not bullish dollar. I'm just saying that's my intermediate short-term analysis for today right now. This is what I see. I see a run on liquidity. I see an aggressive move away. Just trade what you see. My higher time frame bias is still bullish. I still think we're going to head up for the dollar. Once we closed above this daily fair value gap right here, once we closed above that daily fair value gap, any price, we're now back down inside last week's fair value gap right here. We're trading inside this fair value gap right now. Once this candle closed above this fair value gap, any move back down, I think will send prices into these highs. We're just trading inside Friday's range right now. It's just an inside day, so we haven't taken out Friday's high or low. And Friday was a very neutral day. We had an open. You ran liquidity to the top and to the bottom, and you ended up basically closing right back where you opened. There was just not a lot of direction Friday, not a good direction on the dollar. So sitting inside this fair value gap now, if it wants to head lower, the bottom of this fair value gap or the top of this fair value gap, it's where I would look to see, is this a low of the week perhaps for the dollar that we put in? Somewhere down in the bottom of this fair value gap or a retest of this fair value gap, possibly a low of the dollar for the week. Today, maybe, I don't know today, but Tuesday, and then Wednesday you get news and this thing shoots up. We'll see. Pound dollar is dropping here. We took out the buy side. We displaced lower. Anybody that was looking to short this probably got hammered off of this breaker entry right there. It just ran those stops. It's taken out buy side again. So the question becomes, is this a bullish breaker? Technically it is. Here on the 15-minute, this move up, displacement away. And then as soon as you tap into this, you get another V shape right here, displacement away. So as price comes back down into this breaker, should it turn around and go higher? Well, should technically, but don't. I mean, high of the day could be in on Euro 2. High of the day could be in. Euro, again, you can't. I would not be trading euro dollar pairs. You have the inflation rate year over year coming out. They're anticipating a 0.5% drop in the inflation rate. If they're wrong, if they're right, euro dollar may take off. If they're wrong, this thing may tank. Euro dollar may tank. See, same thing. This is a little bit clearer on the bullish order block. You have this last up close candle right here. Hold on a second. Just want to make sure. This last up close candle initiated this run of sell side liquidity. Immediately once you see this sell side liquidity get run, tap, 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 and then it shoots off. This is your signal that this was a stop run. So as price comes back down, you're wanting to come back down and retouch that breaker. And the difficult part here is where could the breaker be? It could be this hourly breaker right here. It may not want to come this far back down. It might. So if you're bullish on euro, you would want to see price come back down into this large fair value gap here, either this 15-minute breaker or a higher time frame, one of these areas, and then you would look to see price take off. I would not be touching euro pairs right now until that inflation number comes out. What's up, Neil Ferrillo? George Tucker, good morning. Saeem, today is classic buy day on EU. Might get a retracement in New York to get into EU. Just wait until after that news hits, guys. There is inflation data coming out for euro dollar, and if you get in now, the chances that you get wicked out on either one of those positions is pretty high. So currently sitting here with orders on pound Aussie. So this is what I'm waiting to see happen is get tapped in on just a little retrace of this breaker into this fair value gap with this breaker, with this order block. Right back up into it and then drop and head lower from here. That's what we're looking for, pound Aussie. I don't see any euro news for today on. I know it's not listed on Forex Factory. I know it's not. But at 9 o'clock on October 30th, the inflation rate year over year preliminary. It's previously 4.5. They're forecasting 4. All right. This is happening. It's not on Forex Factory. Forex Factory, for some reason, does not list every single red folder news event. I've seen it miss employment numbers before where it's been, sometimes TradingView doesn't have them and Forex Factory does. Sometimes Forex Factory has them and TradingView doesn't. So you just have to blend it both. Just because one doesn't have it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's happening. It's a preliminary number. It's not the actual number. All right. But I promise you, anything with inflation with any currency right now, it's bad news to try to trade through that. What's up, Beeswax? Good morning, Partha G. LOL. Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope the civil war over there is calming down for you. Chase, good morning. Can you pull the Euro CAD chart? I'm in a long. Sure, we can look at Euro CAD. NFP week, so dollar likely choppy all week. That's exactly right, Cisco. 9 a.m. your time and 6 a.m. Now, 9 a.m. Chart time. So 9 a.m. New York time. So 2 hours is what this is listed at. 9 a.m. is the inflation rate preliminary, year over year preliminary. Somebody wanted to look at Euro CAD here. Kind of choppy on the weekly time frame here, just kind of in a big range. We did reclaim this fair value gap last week. It closed above it quite aggressively. So any pullback into this area here would signal a long on the weekly. You're currently in a long, I think. You're still trading in between Friday's high and low. Not a whole lot of range currently on Euro CAD. Again, Euro has inflation numbers coming out, so I would not want to be looking to trade this, but just purely from a technical standpoint. If you're targeting last week's high, longs make sense. Your 30-minute breaker doesn't look, it looks pretty nice. You're touching it right now. There is some fair value gaps inside there on a 15-minute time frame. You know, you've got all of that. With all of these big fair value gaps, I think your stop has to be below the candle of the largest fair value gap. So I would still want to keep my stop down here. And I'd be going for something like this. Get out before those highs inside that fair value gap right there. If that's the long, that's what I would be looking at. Nice breaker. So you've run sell side liquidity. You get immediately displacement. You get a displacement higher after you've tapped into the sell side. You're getting a pullback now into that breaker. It's touched the breaker. It's filled in this, almost filled in this fair value gap completely. My preference is to get a little bit into that, not just a touch of the fair value gap, but into the fair value gap. And I would want to, my stop would want to be below the body of the candle of the lowest fair value gap. So that's why I would put it there. But, you know, just some analysis right off the bat on EuroCAD. But I would not be trading euros. Don't be you don't be trading it. Inflation rate coming out. Preliminary inflation rate coming out. 30-minute time frame probably looks the cleanest to me. Don't be trading euro. Look at the pairs that have nothing down at the bottom of the trading view chart. Clean charts, clean news charts. You want those. And let's see. Actually, I do see on Forex Factory, it says all-day event for German preliminary CPI. Maybe it's that. Could be that, yeah. I use my FX book economic calendar. I don't know if my FX book has it on there or not. The Spanish flash CPI came in a little lower. It dropped. I'm not sure what news TradingView pulls from. It's obviously not Forex Factory. They are not in sync with each other there. Gold closed aggressively higher last week, filling in this fair value gap, closing above it. So this weekly fair value gap right here on gold was violated and closed above with last week's close. It's pulling back now into that fair value gap at the start of the week here. Typically, when you see a closure above a fair value gap, it's reclaimed that fair value gap and instead of it respecting it, it disrespected it, closed above it, completely reclaimed it. Pullbacks into that fair value gap now would be respected typically. You're getting a wick test. Gold's been on a tear higher, all-time highs, and really still relative equal highs. Sorry. Let me extend that out here. These were all-time highs, and it wicked it back in May, and it dropped, and now we're running back up. We've taken out the buy-side liquidity here now. Ran sell side, displaced higher, coming back into this. It respected the daily fair value gap, but the weekly, the higher time frame did get reclaimed. Small little volume imbalance here on gold that it tapped up into last week and fell away from. We'll see if that wants to act as some resistance, but I would anticipate these this green box is the weekly fair value gap that it reclaimed last week. So we'll see. Price displaced above those and closed above those highs. So any move down, I would look for opportunities to buy gold here. Obviously, big move that it's repricing a lot of this, only offering buy side. And when it only offers buy side, it often will come back down and want to rebalance that before it starts heading higher here. There's no buy in here for me right now on gold anywhere. Now, pound Aussie flirted with us. It was pushing back up, and then decided, nah, dog. All right, chat. What did you guys do fun this weekend, man? Anybody have any good weekend stories to share? It's Halloween weekend, so there was a lot of Halloween parties going on. Halloween's Tuesday, but because this was the weekend it fell on, there was a lot of costume parties and trunk or treat and all the other stuff kids were doing all weekend. We had a big cold front blow through last night here in Houston. It is 51 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, 51 Fahrenheit outside right now. Chilly, and the wind is blowing. We had a northern cold front push down through. So it's very chilly, which means I'm guessing Halloween's going to be very cold. Like while kids are supposed to be out trick-or-treating, it's going to be like in the upper 40s. That's pretty chilly to go trick-or-treating in. So not sure if we're going to have a bunch of kids. This is our first year in a community, like an apartment townhome / community. We've always lived in neighborhoods. We downsized last year after Halloween. So this is our first year in Halloween in like an apartment townhome complex thing. So I'm wondering, and there's a lot of kids in this community that we live in. So interested to see what the trick-or-treat action is going to be this year. Dollar coming right back up into that breaker on the 30-minute time frame, touching the very bottom of this wick right there. The low of this candle is 106.529. The high of this candle is 106.531. Just wicking into that breaker and finding some weakness off of it. Would really like to see an entry before we take out the daily low here. the session low from London. I'd really prefer to get an entry here. I was hoping we'd get it right at the start of that 7 o'clock candle, but we didn't get a push up yet. So we'll hang on here maybe for, let's see, what's the 30-minute doing? Yeah, we could still get a push up. 4 hour, what's the 4 hour? We got another hour and a half on the 4 hour candle here. Excuse me. Beautiful relative equal lows. It's definitely going to run these relative equal lows here. I just want to get into this trade before it does that. CK King, what's up, man? LOL, that's exactly the trade I'm in, and thanks for the wishes, Brad. We are good currently. We have light and stuff. That's a good sign, but there are some areas which get hit by drones twice in a week. That sucks, man. Well, I'm glad you have some electricity and enough to get on and do some trading, so good for you, man. Deepak, love from India. Welcome in, Deepak. Welcome in, man. Thanks for joining and watching from India. Loyalty family, look at Pound CAD. It will be similar to EuroCAD. Same thing on EuroCAD that you're seeing. They're going to be very similar. Although it didn't run the high here like EuroCAD did. I'm more inclined to be, well, yeah, I don't know. Tapped right up into this weekly or daily fair value gap. Look at that. Ran buy side liquidity right into this fair value gap. We've had to break a structure here. This is a retrace back up into it. You haven't gotten displacement after grabbing this sell side, which makes you think this is the displacement. This was the change of structure. Oof. Pound CAD. I don't know, man. Still inside yesterday or Friday's highs and lows there. In an uptrend. It's pulled back into a discount. Failure to make a new high though. Couldn't make the same high that Euro did. That's SMT. Couldn't displace above that high after grabbing this liquidity, so I would anticipate further decline on the pound CAD. It ran liquidity here, displaced, came back up, rebalanced, respected that high, and has fallen off. I would probably want to stay out of pound CAD right now. If anything, it's going short here. Wait for a clear displacement higher. This would be your clear displacement higher, and it's already pulled back into it, and after it's touched off, you haven't seen the reversal off of that area yet. In fact, you're seeing a stall out inside of this retracement. You're not seeing a continuation. I would probably just hold pause on pound CAD. Going to the Gilded Gals. I did not recommend going to the Gilded Gals. All I told you was what I was looking at. I did not tell you to go there. I just know some of you degenerates can't stay away from it. Was my wife's birthday on Saturday, but not got any stories. Well, hopefully you treated her well and you got her a nice gift, Cisco. Muhammad Slam says, I got into a webinar with Paladin and cleared my confusion with time and price theory, researched about quarterly theory. That's it for my weekend. Neil says, Paladin mentorship is it was kind of demo class, but he explained risk management, time, and price theory. It's good. Paladin is a very mechanical trader. He trades the Judas swing. No, not Paladin. No, that's Phantom. Paladin is the owner of, he's one of the owners of SFT, right? Smart Funding Trader or whatever it's called. Which is interesting that he's selling a mentorship while he's also the owner of a prop firm. I mean, he seems like a good guy. It's just, that's weird to me. Baby, I didn't go to the strip club. I was just looking at it. Hey, you drive by strip clubs all the time. There's two. There's two, and I haven't been to either one. I do not go to those places. I have an incredibly beautiful wife that I love looking at all of the time. I have no need or desire to want to go do that. But you drive by them all the time. And that's what you do. You drive by, you look at it while you're driving by, and you go, oh, yep, there's a strip club. And then you just keep going. You don't stop and go in. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's the drive-by gold analysis. That's the drive-by of the Gilded Gals. I'm not going in, just looking over there going, oh, yep, still going on. All the craziness. He trades power of 3. Bro's getting those 7 income streams. He is definitely working the 7 income streams. Good for him. I mean, great. Very good for him. Free mentorship. Good. I'm all for free, man. Trying to help everyone here as much as I can as well. So that last pound Aussie trade was frustrating me. It frustrated the crap out of me. How it snipered us out. It didn't even hit on TradingView, but the spread on Think Markets wicked us out. And then it dropped. Very frustrating. Degenerates. That's what you are, a bunch of degenerates, man. How am I supposed to say it? Degenerate? Is it degenerate? You don't emphasize the D so hard. Degenerate. Degenerates. I mean, you can say it both ways. Look at that reaction off of that breaker there on the dollar, sending the pound and euro higher here. It's the emphasis you put at the start that does it for me. Degenerates. You degenerates. I say it both ways. You can say degenerate. It's fine. I think it's funnier when you say you degenerates. He risks 2%. Oh, so he does it like I do. Venator wanted to know what lot sizes do you generally use for trading challenge counts. I don't use a specific lot size. I don't recommend using a specific lot size. I recommend position sizing based on your stop loss and your risk percentage. So whatever you're risking that will determine what your lot size is. So if you're risking 1%, you would put that into your lot size calculator, that you want to risk 1% on a 8 pip stop or a 17 pip stop or a 25 pip stop, whatever your stop loss is. Put in how many pips that is, tell the calculator how much you want to risk on that trade, and that will determine what your lot size is. Do not just use a standard lot every trade. Now, if you have a mechanical system that just says, I have a 25 pip stop loss whenever I enter, well, then you can use the same. If you're just trading one pair and you're using a static stop loss, which I don't think is a good idea, then you could use just a specific lot size on every position that you take. But your risk reward ratio is based off of how much you're risking, and your risk should be identical, in my opinion, every single time you enter a trade, so that you can maximize the edge that you have in the market. If you lower your risk on one trade and you win, and then you raise your risk on another trade and you lose, you're dulling your edge in the market. You're shooting yourself in the foot. So you should always risk the same amount across a challenge. You should not lower it unless you're getting close to violating your drawdown limits. Then you can obviously lower your risk amount to try to protect that account a little bit more. But otherwise, I think it should just stay the same. I think it should not. I shouldn't waver. It should just stay where it is. Don't be changing your risk over a challenge. So I risk 2% per trade on all of my accounts for passing challenges, especially for passing challenges. That's also based on my data over the live market trading data that I have over the last over 100 live trades in the market. I know what my max losing streak is. My max losing streak is 4 in a row. That's the most I've ever lost in a row. And I'm not saying that won't ever change. I'm not saying that it's impossible to have more than 4 in a row. I'm just telling you right now, I have yet to lose 4 in a row or more than 4 in a row. So if I risk 2% per trade and I have a 10% drawdown limit, I will not violate the drawdown on the account if I hit my max losing streak. So that's why I risk 2% per trade. I don't recommend you risk 2% per trade unless you have that data and you know what your max losing streak is over your last 100 live trades in a market. If you don't have that data, you should be risking 0.5%, maybe 1%, maybe. I would probably say 0.5 to 0.75% until you have that data. It's on my MT5 account. It's called Trade Assistant MT5. It's just an EA that sits on my MT5 account, and I can literally draw this box on my MT5. I just put in the lines. I put where my entry is, where my stop loss and take profit is. I hit calculate lot. I put in how much I want to risk, which in this case is $200 because this is a 10K account. I want to risk $200. I will say calculate lot size. It automatically does it. And then I hit sell limit, buy limit, market, whatever order I'm going to put in. And it auto calculates it for me. So for instance, on this pound Aussie trade with a 23 pip stop loss, the lot size is 1.36. That would be a $200 risk on the account, with a profit of 420-ish if we hit TP. Excuse me. Still got a good cough going on. I feel good, but I still get these little tickles in the back of my throat from that, I guess, the remaining drainage or just whatever the virus is still trying to do to me. I was not talking about Paladin. I was explaining your risk to Anand. I got you. Reggie, welcome in. Good evening. I usually go for a 0.25 to 0.5% risk. Very wise to do that. Look, I'm not telling you that you should be risking 2%. That's what I do. Part of it is that I can pass challenges very quickly, and even if I get into drawdown, I'm going to stay in drawdown for a long time typically, even with 2% risk. But when I pass quickly, and I can move to the funded stage. And again, I'm doing this because I know what my system is and I know what my data is. I'm not doing it to over leverage. Over leveraging to me would be risking 3 or 4% per trade. But I give myself one trade per day, one entry. The max I'm ever going to lose in any one day is 2%. And because I don't really trade much on red folder news days, this may be the only trade setup I get this week. Euro cranking, pound cranking hard, dollar dropping right off of that breaker. Beautiful to see. Touches that breaker and then just drops. What a beautiful delivery of price right there. It's going to head back down into this daily fair value gap most likely. And that's where I would anticipate potentially a low of the week somewhere in here. If we're going to remain bullish on the dollar, then you would anticipate a low of the week potentially tomorrow or Wednesday with news. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. And then you can blend that with pound dollar and euro dollar, high of the week above, last week's highs, that kind of stuff. Maybe take out last week's high, reach back up into this fair value gap one more time. This weekly fair value or 4-hour I can't even talk. Weekly 4-hour fair value gap right here. So we'll see how it all plays out. But right now, don't touch euro dollar. Don't touch any euro pair until after that news hits. Pound coming back up now. Hopefully we can get just a little bit of a little further retrace and get tapped in. Lion Forex, does it calculate using commission per lot as well? It does not calculate the commission. That's something you have to account for, which is why I go for a little bit more than 1 to 2. I go for 1 to 2.1 typically. That covers just a little bit more than the cost of the trade so that I can get a true 1 to 2 once I factor in commissions. So Aussie pairs are kind of slow. It just depends. It just depends. Sometimes they are. Sometimes every pair can be slow. Is MT5 a Forex thing? It's just yes. It's not just Forex, but mostly Forex. MT4 and MT5 are the terminals that you would use, like NinjaTrader or I don't know what are the other one? Trade of 8. MT5 is just, and it's super clunky. It is so old school. It can't even compare to like NinjaTrader, Trade of 8, those other ones that are out there. Those are so much more clean and more intuitive and just graphically better to look at. They're not specific to Forex. I think most Forex brokers use them, but C-Trader is another one. Do you know anything that helps on stutter when talking? I do not, my friend. That is not something that played around with Trade of 8 to put in an order on a practice account. John, I played around with Trade of 8 to put in an order on a practice account on Top Step and thought Trade of 8 was clunky. I've never used Trade of 8, so I'm not exactly sure how clunky it can be. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say they like Tradeovate. Every platform probably has its pros and cons, and some people are gonna be fans of one thing or another. TradingView is definitely the best. Hold on a second. Not as good as I wish. I wish we could use TradingView. For whatever reason, the APIs and these brokerages, TradingView. I mean, TradingView has a lot of brokers that are connected to it. So on my practice trade, hit 3R. Why was it a practice trade? Was it just truly because you were just trying to figure out if you understood how the platform worked, or were you just weren't ready? Gotcha. Well, that's fine. The result of your last trade has nothing to do with the result of your next trade, my friend. Alpha Bridge, what's up, man? My sick is gone. I still probably sound not great. In fact, my right ear is still stopped up. You know that feeling where it's like you kind of feel like it's just clogged? I definitely have that on my right ear right now. So that's frustrating, but I do feel good. I feel rested. Yesterday was the best I've felt in about 5 days, and today I imagine I'll feel pretty good all day today. So yeah, if it would have on your challenge, of course it would have been nice. But you can't play the what if game, man. You'll drive yourself crazy playing the what if game. That's right. You're scared, get a dog. 100%, man. You cannot operate in fear. You just got to go. You just got to execute. You got to. This is what trading is all about. You see your system, you see your setup, you take the trade. You see your system, you manage it, you get in, you let it do what it's going to do, and then you move on to the next one. Whatever happens, happens. Snoop always says, scared, go to church. Oh, I've been spending most of the time in my home on charts, and out of nowhere, I stutter when I talk. Is that a new thing? Like you've never stuttered before, but now you do stutter? Like that's just something new that's come up, or has this been an issue for a while now? You never did before, now you do. Wow. I wonder if it's just your brain like processing that you're living through a civil war, and there's something that you're like there's a mental block there that you're having to deal with. Like you're shutting off the world around you to focus, in your brain's like, this is too much to process right now. Literally in a life or death battle with my country. Oh, and also let me figure out how to trade while that's going on. It is frustrating. I'm just waiting. It's the best relief in the world when it finally pops. Oh my gosh, when it finally opens and you can hear clearly again, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. You can hear all the, because it cuts out all the high frequencies when it's plugged up like that. So everything just sounds dull. So I love when your ear finally opens after being sick. The left ear open. PTSD maybe, yeah. Have not spoken aloud to people for a long time. I guess it's because I'm not talking with friends and relatives like I used to. Huh. Wow. That's pretty crazy, LOL. That's I mean, I don't know, man. I would just Google like what causes I don't have any good resources for you, but I guess maybe if you just don't ever talk to people and then all of a sudden you start talking again, it could your brain just kind of misfires there or something. I don't know. Speaking of church, listened to a wonderful sermon yesterday on how to overcome spiritual vertigo. When you question the goodness of God and if obedience is worth it. Sounds like a good one, man. Cisco, by the way, Brad, any update on getting Owen on? So he was supposed to be taking his midterms last week, I think, wasn't it? Didn't he say midterms were last week? So maybe this week he's freed up. And yeah, I want to get him on here, and maybe we can make that happen this week. With the news going on, it may be a good week to get him in. So I'll reach out to him on Discord or Twitter and see if we can see if he's if all of his midterms are through. To me, it sounds like LOL. It sounds like PTSD, man. Like the fact that you're sitting here on a live stream watching some dude trade Forex while you're literally wondering when your electricity is going to get shut off or when a drone's going to drop a bomb. I can't, like, what in the world, man? How does your brain ever process that? How are you even like able to type coherent sentences right now? It's crazy to me, man. Absolutely crazy. Is there any end in sight? Like, is there any hope that this thing shuts down sometime soon for you over there? Like they figure it out and they can make peace? Read some research and it says you might get stutter. If you haven't talked for some amount of time, you get stutter problems as you start talking, and says it can be fixed by therapy, and I'm not in to therapy. Well, I mean, there probably are some resources online that you could probably therapy yourself, but I don't know. YouTube, Google, I'm sure you can. I mean, the internet is probably a wealth of resources to help you figure some of that out. Thought we were going to get a pop up there, but no dice. So hopefully before we run, hopefully at the start of this next hour, we can get a move back up into these relative equal highs on the 10-minute time frame here. These are really juicy, so we get a pop up into some buy side liquidity, and then we run lower. That's what I'm hoping for here. Being a naughty flirt then run away. Yeah, jeez, of course. Oof, look at Euro. shooting up pretty aggressively and then some immediate displacement down. Excuse me. Coffee running through my gut. A lot of relative equal highs up here. A lot of liquidity building up right above us. See all this? Tapped it a little bit there, but it's still very clean. I'm waiting to sell Bitcoin. Waiting to sell it. I don't trade crypto much, but I'm waiting for Bitcoin to sell off. Well, I don't really want Pound Aussie to run out those lows just yet. See if we pull a standard deviation here. That's unfortunate. I'll hold on to this for just a little bit. I'm not gonna. I was really hoping to be in that trade before it ran those. It hasn't come back up into that breaker or into that fair value gap just yet, so I'm gonna hang on to that. See if we can get a pop up in this hourly candle here into this little order block right there. I want to see one more test of this 15-minute order block with this breaker, with this fair value gap. That's what I want to see. This fair value gap has not been tapped into yet. That's what I want to see. Ella says, I'm dying to get some scrap from the market to live with my family to other country till things gets back to normal, but the market ain't an angel. No, the market typically does not. I mean, honestly, the market the market doesn't care about our situations. The market doesn't know we exist. We have to go in and take out the little bits that we can with the systems that we're provided with or that we know how to operate within. It's all on us, man. Cisco, jump back in after. All right, man. Hopefully we're still here. It's Monday. I don't really do long streams on Mondays. But we'll hang out. I'll hang out here for at least another 30 minutes probably. seeing how last week we had some short streams. I'll try to make it up this week. New hourly candle opening up here. Just want to see it retest this 10-minute breaker right here. This fair value gap. Nice. There's some just beautiful relative equal highs up here representing buy side liquidity. We just need to get an aggressive, just a nice little quick false Judas swing up into and above those highs. Tap us in. Saeem, thanks for coming in, man. It's good to see you, buddy. If we can get some displacements below here, we might have a sell on pound dollar. You've run buy side right here. If you get a big candle down, you might be able to find a sell there. I don't think Pound Aussie is going to cooperate with us today. I think it's going to... It flirted with us. We got within about 4 pips. Oh boy. So John, you haven't started your Top Step challenge yet. Is that right? You have yet to take a live trade on it? Cool. What did you decide to do with your risk? I don't know if you saw my Discord stuff. I was trying to, if I explained that well, but are you trading E-minis? Or are you just doing like one standard contract? I think I'm too cautious. I just think you're scared of the unknown. I don't think you're too cautious. I just think you've never done it before, and so it's kind of that trepidation of I just don't know what you think you don't know what you're doing. You're a trader. You know how to trade. It's just you just need to go in there and execute it. Minis. That way I can have runners. Got you. That's probably the best way to do it. E-minis, the mini contracts. Part of me believes that in a 50K, I actually only have 2K worth of capital. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's your drawdown limit. That's the amount of money that you have to work with. And that's, if there's no time limit and you're not worried about when you're going to pass that challenge, then risking, tiny fractions of amounts of 2,000, you can eventually get there. This is where the prop firm, what's the word I'm looking for? The vehicle with which prop firms give us to trade capital in larger amounts. Simulated capital. They're in the business of seeing traders not do well. And so they are always going to be looking for ways to entice traders to want to be more aggressive. They know that most traders cannot consistently trade profitably. And so they're counting on the fact that you're going to slowly whittle away that 2K account, because 90 to 95% of traders cannot, over a long period of time, remain profitable. They're going to have more losers. They're not going to manage their accounts well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So even if they go in thinking, I've got no time limits, I'm just going to use these teeny tiny amounts, they know eventually that drawdown's going to get hit. And meanwhile, they're collecting those monthly fees on top of that. So you have to weigh out the difference between, okay, I'm paying this monthly fee. With the futures account, there's monthly fees. So you have to weigh out there's this burn of this is going out every month while I'm trading this account, versus the amount of risk and the amount of time. Time is valuable. So how much time is it going to take me to actually pass this if I risk X amount and I can be consistent on it? I mean, those are the data numbers you have to look at. This is why I give myself enough time to pass a challenge, but I don't want to just sit in it forever either. You absolutely should. I'm more in line with Casper on this. Your true risk, John, is the money that you put up for that account. That's your true risk. The drawdown limit that the prop firm gives you for the game that you're playing, this simulation that you're doing, it's like playing poker at a tournament, right? Like you buy in for $500 and you get $50,000 in chips. Well, you don't really have $50,000. You bought in for $500. That's your true risk. So just, you have to play poker the way that you're going to play poker as though you had 50K. So you need to trade that 50K account as though you have a 50K account. But you need to do it in a way that gives you enough bullets to shoot so that if you go on a bad losing streak or you get to your max losing streak, the account is still not violated. That's the way I approach funded challenges. Risk enough that if I hit my max losing streak, I will not violate the drawdown. And so I want to go as high as I can on my risk to not violate the daily drawdown limit. Number one, obviously that's a rule. I don't think Top Step has a daily drawdown limit. If they did, I would make sure that I'm not violating the daily drawdown limit, number one. Number two, that if I hit my max losing streak, I'm not going to violate the overall account drawdown. That's how I approach this. That gives me the ability to pass quickly. If I hit my winners, I pass quickly, and if I hit my losers, I'm going to hold this account for a while and give myself a good chance to get out of drawdown too. It's just this, it's a balance that you have to find when you're doing these simulated challenges. It's a balance you have to find of not operating in fear, like saying, this is what I'm going to risk. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go in and do it one time. Like, just set your risk. Say I'm going to risk, I don't know, 0.5% or 0.75% or whatever it is. And just do a challenge like that. Trade your system and see how it goes. And if you pass, you pass. And if you fail, you fail. You've chalked it up. You've chalked it up to a lesson learned of, okay, next time I do this challenge, now I know I'm going to only do 0.25% risk this time, or I'm going to up to 0.75%, or I'm going to do 1%, whatever it is. I think Casper's right on this. What's up, Mr. Alfie? Welcome back in, man. How was the trip to Rome? Saw some of those pictures, man. They look beautiful, and hope you had a good time. And we've missed the dad jokes. Buy opportunity on GU and EU. The buy was in here. I don't know that I would be wanting to buy now. I'm still bullish on the dollar. Not saying you can't buy, but Euro, I would not be touching Euro because we have news coming out. I've already explained that earlier in the stream. There's news on Euro today with preliminary inflation numbers coming out, so I would stay away from Euro. I have orders set here on Pound Aussie. I just need a pop up above these relative equal highs on the 10-minute time frame, into this fair value gap, into this order block, into this breaker block, into a premium of this last leg down. It's left behind these relative equal lows, which is what I wanted to see. So hopefully we can get triggered in and then drop to take out those lows. What's up, Fritz? Good morning, John. Plus, they give away accounts a lot. I got mine for $1. Well, then what are you worried about, dude? Just go in and do it. Just go in and do it. I would be risking on a 50K account. What do you need to make? You need to make, what's your profit target on a 50K account? Is it 8% or 10%? What is it? I would be risking at least $250 per trade. That's 0.5%. And that's way below your daily drawdown limit. I'd be risking $250 a trade, going for 1%. Like a 1 to 2 would give me a 1% profit if I risked 0.5%. Dominic, what's up? Rome was amazing. Did a lot of walking and eating. I bet you did. It looked amazing, man. I can't imagine, like, you guys that live over in Europe and you live over in those places. It's just, you live in the midst of history. Like, world history is right where you live. That's where world history happened. Like, all of these incredible, crazy events and cultures and kingdoms and countries and rulers and wars and battles and art and science. I mean, it's just, you guys live where civilization was born and was created. And it's just, one day I'm going to be able to get over there, hopefully when World War III is not going on, and enjoy some of that rich history that you guys get to live in all the time. All right, Pound Aussie coming back up here. Hopefully we can get just a little bit of a rush above these highs here. Just a quick sniper push right up into that, and then some displacement lower. I don't want to see it respect. I want to see a retest of that fair value gap. First 15-minute candle has closed. Hopefully that's not the top of the hour wick there. It's not what I want to see. I want to see one more push up. We left behind no wicks here on this last 15-minute candle. There's no wick here. So hopefully we can get our pop up. Heard while I was away that the Beastie Boys are releasing a 5-part anthology. Parts A to D will be available, but you've got to fight for the right to part E. Hey-o. There we go. This is what we've been missing all week since you've been gone. I probably would have hit some winners last week had we had some more of that. That's a good one. I like that one. That's good. It's well constructed. It's got all the good parts right there inside of a good joke. That's a great dad joke. Will we get triggered in before we take out these 4-hour lows down here? Relative equal lows resting all underneath here. One little trigger in. Getting back up right now inside above those highs. Retesting that fair value gap, the bottom end of that fair value gap now. I want to see it come up into that breaker. It's coming up to the bottom of that breaker just now. We are not triggered in on MT5 yet. We're getting close. We need that buy line to get above. The ask line is above, but we need the buy line. EuroCAD at the breaker we talked about. Did EuroCAD take off? And yeah, nice off of that breaker right there. Reached right back down. We analyzed this little 15-minute breaker right there. And it's getting a nice little bullish reaction off of that. Good luck if you're in that trade. Pound Aussie still not quite triggered in here. We're getting pretty close to our entry. It is right back up into the breaker right now. It's touched the bottom of that breaker. We need to get another probably half a pip and we'll get triggered in. We're really close on Think Markets. $250 per trade means I could put on 5 lots. In my personal account, I typically risk $40 per trade. Yeah, you got to stop thinking about your personal account because you don't have 50K. So you have to stop thinking about what you would be risking. You have to think in position size of the account. So don't be risking $40 or $50 because this isn't your account. It's their account and it's simulated funds. So don't let the big numbers fool you. Don't look at profit and loss. Change, if there's a way to change it to percentage gain and loss, just do that. Don't look at the dollar signs of what you're risking. Look at the risk percentage that you're risking. And you're only risking 0.5%. That's fairly conservative. 0.5% risk is fairly conservative. So you just got to learn how to get comfortable. It's like, oh, this is what I would do if I had a 50K account. This is how I would trade it. And then just trade it. It's paper trading. It's simulated. It's not real. So just, get that out of your system and out of your head here. We need one more. Come on, GA. Don't you freaking do this to me. Literally, it's the buy line is right. The bid and the ask. I mean, they're just the bid and the ask are literally splitting my limit order. And I just need the nope, still not there. Come on. It shows it in TradingView as being tapped in, and it's not. Think Markets did not tap me in, and 8cap has. And if this thing frickin' falls off a cliff right here, I'm going to be so ill if this thing falls off a cliff right here. Oh God. Oh my freaking gosh. This thing better not turn around. I just want to get tapped in. I'm going to show you just this. Come on, phone. I don't know if you can see that. That is called swerve. That's what that's called. Literally touched my order. I just didn't get the bid line to get above that. It literally split it. Oh, God. That's gut-wrenching. Absolutely gut-wrenching. You gotta be flipping kidding me right now. That, oh. That is, if this thing, these are the trades. This is the part of the emotional aspect of trading that still bothers me the most. Right here. When I see price do exactly what I want, I set my orders, and because of spread, I don't get tapped in. And then price goes exactly where I'm anticipating it to go. And, oh, God, that just lights a fire in me. Freaking GA, man. What, did anybody get into this trade? This moment right there is pain. That's true pain right there. Exotics are crazy. It's not too bad. It's only 2 pips. I mean, a 2 pip spread on GA is not bad. It's just I literally was right there. And this, if this was 8 cap, I'm in this trade. 100% if this was 8 cap, I'm in this trade. That is the truest version of a sniper entry. And that sucks. That absolutely sucks. It's not going to come back up. This was the run on liquidity. This is the test of that breaker. It's going to come and take out these relative equal lows now. I'm going to leave the order in until it takes out. If it fills in this fair value gap right over here, the bottom of this 4-hour fair value gap, a touch of that will cancel this order. So I'm definitely not. The only way that this, if in the next 35 minutes this 4-hour candle closes without running these lows in the next 35 minutes, we might get a 4-hour wick back up and then it drops. But I need this to not run these lows in the next 35 minutes. And it doesn't look good for that to happen, in my opinion. Maybe we'll get one more entry. But that was the sniper entry I was really hoping for. Gosh. All right. What else we got going on? I'm going to stay on for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll call it a stream today. I'll stay on till the end of this half hour. Welcome back, Cisco. We've got 5 minutes left. We did not get into this trade. GA giving us massive swerve action here. No, it didn't. I wish. Think market spread did not get me in. I needed it to come up another half a pip. 8 cap, it would have been triggered on 8 cap. We would have been in this trade, but no, it's not triggered. It did leave the lows in place very beautifully, which I'm very happy for. It did come back up, run buy side liquidity right here. It's back up into this breaker, into this order block. Maybe it wants to retest this fair value gap one more time. Hopefully it does, so that we can get our entry. So I'm going to stay on for about another 4 minutes. We'll stay on till the, the typical Venator swerve. Yep. I'm going to stay on for till the end of this half hour. And then we'll call it a stream. Tomorrow, no major big news events tomorrow, so we might have a good trade opportunity. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll be streaming. But, man, I don't know. I'm going to try to get a hold of Owen and see if we can work something out to get him on one morning, if his schedule allows. See if we can get him on the stream. And then I'm going to be reaching out to some of my... I'm going to be reaching out to some of the other Bespoke partners, trading partners that they have, and seeing if we can get some of these guys on too. Maybe Mads or Albert Burgess, Kieran Duff, Desi, James Bruce, Sniper. All just great traders out there. So we'll see if we can get some of these guys on too over the next few weeks or months as we close out the year. Get Mads on for Lowell to lift his spirits. Yeah. She would love to come on. Yeah, one little message and then schedule a date and she will be here for sure. If you haven't followed Albert Burgess, you should. Great dude, great trader. Does a podcast. He's been doing some great podcasts recently. He just put out a video Sunday on his YouTube channel where he had $1.4 million in prop firm funding, and he's lost it. Some of that was my Forex funds. I think 600K of it was my Forex funds. And then the other 800K though was with different prop firms, and he's starting over from zero now. So it was just a great video I say it's a great video. I'm sure he doesn't feel great about it, but just full transparency, talking through why it happened, how it happened, the emotions he's feeling and dealing with, what's his plan moving forward, all that kind of stuff. But dude has made a lot of money trading with prop firms and built it up to 1.4 mil. And then it was, and now it's gone. Starting back over. I'd love to get him on. We can talk to him about that too. I'm sure he would love to come on. Albert Burgess. Albert Burgess. You can YouTube Albert Burgess. Burgess. I'll see if I can find it. I'll just show you what it looks like so you can see if you're in the right place. This guy here. One second. So this is the video. This is his channel. Albert Burgess. How I lost $1.4 million. Great dude. Good trader. Go watch it. He's got some really good interviews with other professional traders on his podcast as well. So I highly recommend. We might get another entry here. We might get a chance for another entry. He used to trade the 1 minute chart. Yeah. I think everybody goes through that process. Where they see or they think, oh, I can make quick money on the 1 minute. Well, technically, yeah, you can make some quick money on the 1 minute, but you're going to get spanked. You're not going to be able to live down there. You're not going to be able to do this every day and just stay. No one has that ability or the discipline to do that consistently. I say no one. That's speaking in general terms. There's always exceptions to the rules. Yes, there's people out there that trade the 1 minute chart. I know. The 90% of the people that are stuck in the failing trading club, there's probably 99.9% of them cannot and will not find success trading the 1 minute chart. All right. So into the new half hour here, we might get triggered in. We may get one more push up. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a day for me here on the live stream. So thank you guys for being here and for jumping in again. We'll be back again tomorrow, Tuesday, 7 a.m. New York time. I'll post any updates to this trade on Discord. So you guys make sure you're following me in and over there, part of the family over there. So you guys stay safe, happy hunting. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, wherever you might be. And we'll catch you in the morning. Adios, y'all.